Tutti quiero ver. Ay, de ese choco bonito, quiero ver. Thanks and praise, you fabulous distance. Welcome back to the shared artistic expression. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on the airwaves solo. Whole lot of wild headlines, bombarding the masses with nonsense. Time to make some sense out of the nonsense. So, this episode will be the standard slick dissidence scramble. And I want to just kind of bring people up to speed on some of the planetary placements at the current juncture, and also correspond some of the events in the news headlines to the dynamics of the heavens as Venus is entering into a retrograde cycle, and a great amount of consistency in the narrative is really coming through around the concept of bullying. I see the bully, it's kind of like this week's version of toxic masculinity. And wouldn't you know, the moon is still in Aries, pretty soundly in Aries, and is moving towards the bull over the next night. But a lot of the publicity stunts are relaying to the masses the anthropomorphizing of these theos, these heavenly dynamics. And it was actually a week before Salent's guy came into the Oval Office and was very obtusely belittled. And before that event, I was actually hearing in echo chambers from worldviews that are not my own about vitriol towards Chump being a big bully. And it had been kind of inseminated in some of the other mind space. And the conversation was constantly coming up about the nature of a bully. And it just blows my mind to no end how the Uranus came out of retrograde the day before the Navaratri. And on day number 5, I believe, Jupiter came out of its retrograde in Navaratri. And then it was 2 weeks later, just last week or so, when Mars came out of retrograde. And the day after Mars comes out of retrograde, they have the salient guy come into the Oval Office and get bullied. As I mentioned it before, that first Uranus goes back into normal direct orientation, then Jupiter goes direct, and it almost looks like a collapse or a collision course, and then Mars started to go direct. And as soon as all three of them are going direct, we directly go into a directed lights, camera, action cinematic ritual. And they were even sitting in their positions exactly how I would have staged it if I wanted to turn that publicity stunt into the dynamics of the heavens. Salient's guy would have to be sitting over here. He is belittled. He's a little man. He doesn't have any more soldiers left. He's running out of men. There's a term I just learned. Let me see if I can pull it up. Regarding little man. It is the word Oliganthropy. Oliganthropy is in war when they run out of soldiers and nobody's willing to fight, and you got to go black bag people off the street to recruit them into the battlefield. That's called oliganthropy. Oliganthropy, and it means little man. Zelensky his chair was oversized. His chair was designed with a high back so he would appear smaller. And he has little men to throw into the crossfires. And Chumpster is all bloated up. He's Jupiter is actually on the bull right now. So all of this projection of the bully at the Orange Man Bad as this planet is in on the bullseye. It's pretty much on the bullseye of the bull. It's very proximal to Aldebaran right now. And only a few degrees over is Gemini, is Mars, which has just started to go direct, is just beginning to commence its progress, which is taking it back through Cancer again. It's retracing its own steps. All three of these planets are retracing their steps as they have that fascinating ritual in the Oval Office. And I just want people just not to forget that Zelensky and Dr. Doom are theurgically entangled. They are deeply theurgically entangled. And let's see, a couple other headlines I just wanted to buzz on. All the binders, all the binders from the Boba Fett Epstein Justice Card debacle was a huge letdown. And there's a loss of love, right? There's a loss of love as Venus is going into retrograde, as everybody gets bound up in the low nutritional information, extremely low calorie information. So yeah, the binders, fascinating little debacle, because the week before all these events came up, people were talking about how Bender from the Futurama show, how Bender is a bully. It's very fascinating. I think that was Pascal, my buddy Pascal, big ups Pascal, talking about Bender from Futurama has always been a bully. And sure enough, those guys showed up to get their binders, and they walk outside, and it's just 0 calorie dud. It's a big fat dud. And I want to also share just a fascinating discovery. It's not. I just want to observe how similar Houdini looks like MPH, Manley P. Hall. And the timelines of their life almost put Manley P. Hall as a child of Houdini. Now, Houdini had a brother, so he could be a nephew. But I'm just going to bring the graphic and show how so very similar their appearances are, and they're both into the hypnosis. They're both into the charismatic potency. They got those bug-eyed, serious, mystic similarities to their likeness. But Houdini was older, and so Houdini would have been, 25 years old when Manley P. Hall was born. It's a very powerful age, the prime age for a father, and I just wonder if the torch isn't being passed on in the limelight, but not in the headlines. So yeah, I'm looking at Manley P. Hall, and I'm looking at Houdini, and I gotta say, I think I'm also seeing Edgar Allan Poe. I think I'm also seeing Edgar Allan Poe with these bloodlines. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe that was just the cool way to look back then. Maybe that was just the style. Okay. Now, Houdini and Manley P. Hall, MPH, miles per hour. The speed of light is measured in miles per hour. MPH are very potent Saturnian letters. MPH, miles per hour. All the roadways in America specifically are miles per hour. He's embedded into the matrix of the land because in America we use miles per hour. Pretty significant. And it's the limitation placed on every superego that has ever touched the road is obedient to the MPH, to the miles per hour. Yeah. Really powerful initials, especially in his lifetime, that people are obeying the MPH. If they exceed MPH, they get in trouble. If you hubristically surpass Manley P. Hall, are you going to get pulled over for a conversion by the Knights Templar? Are they going to convert you to worship their Urbana, their civic goddess, Urbana? I wonder. Okay, so I'm all over the place today with this, but I'm going to share one little footnote from my conversation with Zaralath. Everybody should watch that show with Robert Phoenix and our buddy Zaralath and myself. It was a very powerful meeting of the minds that happened on the night that Mars was going direct. That was the day before the bully incident where Salience guy comes into the Oval Office and they have their bully ritual. And J.D. Vance was speaking very directly, very provocatively as these three cats were in the Oval Office. That show that I did with Robert Phoenix, my buddy Zaralath, and myself, I made the claim about how the Tower card looks like Venice. Venice is the city of epicures. It's a number 7 on the Enneagram. Number 7 personality type is the epicure with the shadow of gluttony, remedial virtue of abstinence, complete abstinence. And so, yeah, Tower card and Venice. I just wanted to share that map because I made that claim and I didn't really talk much about it. I just told people to go look at it. So I thought I would throw that on the record here. And then let's talk about, here, I'm going to throw my little fun graphic about the Oscars. You know, Oscar is the grouch. He lives in a garbage can. Escargot is faux pod French for out of a job, homeless. Because their whole world, escargot is a snail, their whole world is on their back, just like Oscar the Grouch, living in that garbage can. I found some other weird translations where escargot and occitan means I am screwed, and in Latin it could mean I am afraid, all very correspondent to being homeless, we'll say. But a lot of the Oscars and a lot of the Actors Guild are going to lose their jobs when we tune out, to the Hollywood spell, to the promulgation CIA psyop machine at large. Okay. So I made a strange statement a couple episodes back on the Slick Dissident channel about what if the tarot cards that are decoded out of the Muppets, what if they're really hailing to the Royal Order of the Jesters and their high veneration of the Shakespearean works? What if all the tarot cards could fit into Shakespeare works? That would be amazing because that means each Shakespearean work is actually a constellation. That is a lot of information in every contained in a tower of 88 shapes, relation shapes, sacred relation shapes. And so I made that statement that what if the Shakespeare's works are embedded into the tarot cards, which are constellations? Wouldn't that be fascinating? And sure enough, I'm just going to share this one really intriguing correspondence that I saw. I was listening to the channel Synchromistic. Big ups, big respect. And they drop so much information. It's basically a homework download to watch every episode that Synchromystic puts together. And on his channel, he mentioned the Billiken. The Billiken is actually the logo. It's the mascot of the Jesters. And it blew my mind. I start looking up the Billiken, and I realize I am looking at the egregore, the tulpa that is Scooter from the Muppets. Who is Bill Gates? Who is Bill Gates? The Billiken is Scooter, is Bill Gates. Very potent, very potent. One thing that kind of has me hung up is I can't necessarily extract the Billiken out of this art card. I don't know if I wish I could, but it's just not there. I'm not seeing it, but the color scheme is perfect. This color scheme does fit onto Scooter. This card is in Sagittarius. There's some thread, I'm just waiting for it to come together, as to how the Billiken relates to Lady Frida Harris's self-portrait here with this art card. But I want to say, this card in the Scooby Gang, this is the Mystery Machine. And that means this is also Marjorie Taylor Greene is, I think, 2 letters, 2 G's away from an anagram of the Mystery Machine. So the Billiken and the Mystery Machine thread is flimsy, but this is also Margaret Thatcher. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is like the good cop derivative of Margaret Thatcher, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is she's a conspiracy nut. She's a total conspiracy nuts and bolts. Look at the little wheels on the breasts go round and round on this card. So yeah, somehow Scooter attaches to the Mystery Machine and to this card. But I can't really
post-production epiphany, ladies and gentlemen. This card is the clown-shaped Rorschach test,
what really gets
which
me is
puts it in perfect correspondence to the Jesters.
Let me read this. Today, the Billiken is the official mascot of St. Louis University, SLU, SLU, a slew of deaths, and St. Louis University High School, both Jesuit institutions located in St. Louis. The Billiken is also the official mascot of the Royal Order of Jesters. Ho, ho, hum. Here we go. So what? An initiatory Shriner group affiliated with Freemasonry. The Billiken also became the namesake of Billiken Shokai, the Japanese toy and model manufacturing company. I'm looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene as maybe Japanese toy from the model manufacturing company. Maybe. Might be something there. Also, I want to tell people that we should start using cultural Thatcherism. Stop using cultural Marxism. Start using the word cultural Thatcherism. It's more immediate to reality. Cultural Marxism is a curveball. Come at it direct. Call it cultural Thatcherism. That's what's up. The most famous representation of the Billiken was in an amusement park, Luna Park, in the Shinsakai district of Osaka, Japan. In 1912, he was enshrined in the park as a symbol of Americana. What is more Americana than the Mystery Machine and Marjorie Taylor Greene? I ask you that. So yeah, very fascinating connection. And even some of the Billikens actually have red hair, exactly like Scooter, who is Bill Gates. Now, a lot of people are almost, I myself am a little punch drunk. There's some rope-a-dope going on with how much promulgation protocols are unpacking in our modern day. It's too much to handle. It's a bit of a confirmation bias overload. The more you have the promulgation protocols in your lens, the more you realize almost nothing is launched into the psyop stratosphere that was not presaged by Hollywood. And the Zizian death cult is no exception. The Zizians are, ever since the Smith Remodernization Act took place in 2012 and completed the Mayan prophecy of 2012, reality and fiction are negligibly different. There's almost no there's no shroud between the two, because they are unpacking cinematic tropes. They're unpacking cinematic tropes into psyops of immense proportion. The entire Scythian cult, all four of them, are the Viper Assassination Death Squad from Quentin Tarantino, from Wonton Quarantino, old Scythian, whatever her name is, Ziz, she's totally the California mountain snake. Absolutely, 100%. Copperhead is the Owen character. Sidewinder is Alexander. And Cottonmouth is, what's her name? Emma Barbanian. She even looks like she has cotton in her mouth in her mugshot. It is a trip and a half. So yeah, Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill. They are going to provoke vigilantism on the highest frequency they can. They know that we are going to be quite upset at the occulted mockery when all of the context comes into place. And they will anticipate people trying to deliver more than pizza to Bill Gates' address. Yeah, to keep it on the script, to keep it predictable and on script. So yeah, the Zizian death cult is 100% a Kill Bill provocation. Kill Bill is the Billiken. It all goes to the jesters, and the jesters have one of their principal lodges is in Hawaii. Moon card down here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share one more interesting little graphic that I caught out of Synchromystics channel. They were flashing some of Aleister Crowley's portraits that he painted. And this one was super weird. So big ups to the synchromystic.com and their works. But Crowley has a painting of maybe himself on the shores doing some incantations, and out in the waters there's a giant hand coming out of the waters, and it is so embedded into Elementals. At the end of Elementals, they were shooting the film on the Canary Islands, and there's a volcano about to erupt at the climax of the scene, and they have a big hand comes up out of the earth and then gets frozen at the last second. It's fulfilling Crowley's painting. That's a trip. And the Elementals was shot on the Canary Islands, and exactly a year later, they did the drone rescue mission for the dogs. But when the drones were supposed to go out and save the dogs, somebody had already gotten to them, the A-team. And that creates an expectation that maybe the drones will save the day next time. Maybe we can count on the drones next time. Maybe if we get to the drones faster and we valorize the drones, then next time they'll be able to save the day for us. Yeah. And in Crowley's painting, I'm looking at that crazy Japanese looking rouged out face, looking kind of like Aquino, right? With those funky ass eyebrows. But I think I'm seeing the Billiken in that face. So I just threw that together. And also, there is a German folk location called the Externstein that actually looks like fingers coming up out of the land in Germany. Kind of reminds me of the hand from Crowley's painting. All right, I think I shared all the things. Don't believe the hype, y'all. Do not believe the hype, not even one little bit. And keep your eyes on these stars. Keep your eyes on these stars. We were only direct for a few days before Venus started her retrograde. So yeah, there's plenty more tricks coming forward as Venus's retrograde is going to bring it back down from Northern California into Southern California, from out of Aries down into Pisces yet again. Also, I'll bring a graphic. I've been joking. I'm only joking. I'm only having fun with this. But if the Pope pops on the lunar standstill, drinks are on me, y'all. Drinks are on me. I think I had the lunar standstill marked for 314 for Pi Day. But every time I look at a different source, they switch the date on me. It's looking like 313 now, 313. Close enough is perfect, though. Close enough is perfect. Drinks are on me, even if it's on 313. All right, all right. Yeah, Pope's about to pop. Haven't heard much about him lately, but apparently, the third mystery of the Fatima is going to be a big rug pull. Everybody in finance knows what a rug pull is. Well, prophecies are the OG rug pull, and they're sitting on that third mystery of the Fatima. They're going to pull the rug on a lot of people, a whole lot of people. J.D. Vance is Catholic. J.D. Vance is Catholic, y'all. University, you never CIT. Catholic means universal. You never CIT. Yeah, don't rest on your laurels, ladies and gentlemen. All right, big respect, much love, much wisdom. Slick Dissident down below. Cash App, PayPal, hoodies, onesies for babies, t-shirts, Zippos, tarot cards, plenty of fun. All right, y'all. Power to the playful. Power to the playful.